All right, today we're going to tackle something I think almost everyone has faced. How to keep a conversation going and, never ever run out of things to say.
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You meet someone new, you do the usual back and forth, hey, how are you? What do you do? And then, bam, silence. Just that long, heavy, super awkward pause.
Yep, that is the feeling. It's that moment where you can almost feel both of you just desperately searching for an escape hatch. And, well, the easiest one is always right there in our pockets, isn't it? And look, this isn't just some stuffy work thing. It happens everywhere. Weddings, parties, basically any time you're talking to someone you don't know that well. But here's the thing. What if I told you there's a much, much better way?
All right, so first things first, we have to understand that being a good conversationalist, it's a skill. It's not some magical gift that you're either born with or you're not.
So here's how we need to reframe this whole problem. A lot of us, we beat ourselves up thinking, oh, I'm just antisocial or I'm just not charming enough. But the real truth is, we're just untrained. Seriously, it's exactly like learning to play the guitar or getting good at writing. Conversation is a skill that you can actually practice and get better at. So listen, you're not broken. You're just a beginner. And that's a great place to start. So, how do we get trained? Well, it all boils down to a really simple toolkit. And it's built around what I'm calling the 3 conversation keys. Okay, so here they are. These are basically the 3 pillars of any great conversation. And the best part? They're simple. They are so powerful, and you can literally start using them today. So let's break them down one by one. Let's start with a really crucial realization here. At its core, every single conversation is just a series of questions and answers. That's it. So by asking intentional, thoughtful questions, you're not just showing that you're interested, you actually get to guide the conversation. You're in the driver's seat. Okay, here's a perfect example. Imagine someone says, I went golfing over the weekend. Now, you could just say, oh, that's cool. And boom, conversation over. Dead end. Or you could ask one of these follow-up questions. And here's the kicker. Even if you know absolutely nothing about golf, simple questions like, oh, where do you usually play? Or how long have you been playing? They keep the ball rolling. They open up whole new avenues to explore. All right. Now this next one might sound kind of backwards. To get better at talking, you need to listen more. Yes, absolutely. But I'm not talking about that fake listening we all do sometimes, where you're just nodding along, waiting for your turn to talk, just waiting to jump in. No. We're talking about active listening, actually paying full attention. Because when you truly listen, you start picking up on all these little details, emotions, and clues. And that stuff, that's the material you need for those great follow-up questions we just talked about. See how it all connects? Listening is where you find the gold. Okay, so you're asking good questions, you're actively listening, and then you find it. That little spark, that shared interest, that similar experience, that value you both hold dear, this right here is where conversation shifts from feeling like a chore, like an interview, to feeling like a real, genuine connection. And all of a sudden, it stops being work and it just starts being fun. Okay, now, let's be realistic for a minute. The goal here is not to turn you into some flawless, perfect conversation machine. Even with all these tools in your back pocket, there are still going to be pauses. There will be silent moments. And you know what? That is perfectly okay. Silence isn't a sign that you failed. It's just space. It's a breath in the conversation. And once you can learn to just be comfortable with it, man, the pressure just melts away. And that brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway of all. After you practice these keys for a while, you'll start to realize that all this effort, it's not actually about crafting the perfect, witty remark or having the most amazing story to tell. The real goal, it isn't to be interesting, it's to be genuinely interested. That's it. That's the real secret. It's all about curiosity and just being present with the other person. When you shift your focus from performing to actually connecting, you'll find you almost never run out of things to say. So the real question you should be asking yourself isn't, what am I going to say next? It's, am I actually truly interested?